E-bike rumors and updates for 2020 and 21. Riders, welcome back to Sans Bikes, where we talk e-bikes and only e-bikes. And I thought on this episode, I'm gonna do rumors and updates that I think about, I talk about with my mates on the trails, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. So let's go. Let's start with the motors and batteries. Okay, a massive one to start with. Bosch Gen 4 motors have just had a firmware update, and now they have 10 Newton meters more power. It's a pretty massive firmware update. Rob from Rob Rides has just dropped a video with all the information. He's actually stating that the Bosch now is the king of the mountain. It's the most powerful motor in its class, beating the Bros Mag S, which is very impressive. This release makes me think that Bosch has really been, they released that motor early, they've been playing around, they've been getting things right, and now they're confident. But also, I'm pretty sure they're trying to diffuse the imminent release of the Shimano E9000. There's been loads of talk about this motor, and I think we're gonna see a release of this motor in late July or early August. I think the motor is gonna have 90 to 95 Newton meters of torque. I also think it's gonna have better water seals. I think it's also gonna be a little bit quieter, but probably not as quiet as the Bros. And I also think, which is a massive thing, I think it's gonna be backwards compatible. If you think about all the new carbon e-bikes that are on the market at the moment, I just cannot see those brands changing their molds to fit a new motor. It will be very interesting to see how the companies deal with the new motor, how quickly they adapt, and how maybe they are gonna change out the motors. Maybe they're gonna hold the E9000 for the top spec. I have really no idea how they're gonna work through this, but it'll be interesting. Bros Mag S, probably one of the most popular and powerful motors on the market. It's been out about 18 months now. I don't think we're gonna see an update from Bros, but I think with the huge success of the SL, I think we're gonna see Shimano, Bros, and Bosch all working rapidly to release one of those half-powered, like 45 Newton meter motors. As you've probably already seen or heard, Shimano released a 630 watt battery, I think about 3 or 4 months ago. It's not in any of the e-mountain bikes yet, because it looks very similar, but it's actually like 2 or 3 centimeters longer. So obviously I think any 2021 release bikes will be released with this motor. That's if the manufacturers could change the mold of the carbon frames. Look, I think in 2020 and 21, the manufacturers that have stayed with aluminium are gonna win. And the infamous 700 watt battery from YT, are they ever gonna release it? When they released the Decoy 18 months ago with a 540 watt battery, they said a 700 watt battery is on its way. This has been going on forever. Look, I don't think we're gonna see a 700 watt battery in the Decoy. What I think is going to happen is they're gonna hold that for the next release. I also think there is a very small chance that YT might change their mold and go back to a Shimano battery. I think it was a mistake for YT to build their own battery. Look, they make bikes and they do a very good job of it. Why confuse the facts? Like, let Shimano look after all that stuff. And also when it comes to buying a bike, if you have any warranty claims, you can do that locally. So now the 10 predictions I have for the bikes that will be released or modified in 2020 or early 2021. Specialized Libo. As we all know, the Specialized Libo is a cult classic and probably the most sold e-bike. The first Libo came out in September 2015, and then we had a small change in the frame in 2016. Then we had a massive update in September 2018. We're now obviously summer 2020. Now I think there's a very good chance that we will see an updated Libo in September 2020. But saying that, Specialized did spend a huge amount of money research and development on the SL and also launching the SL. I think they sent half of of the media to South Africa to test this bike. It would have cost them a fortune. So maybe we're not going to see a new Libo until Christmas this year. The YT Decoy is out of stock pretty much across the board. I don't see YT sitting down for 6 months. Why? There's a new motor released, a new battery released. I personally think that as soon as we see the release of the Shimano, I think we're going to see a new release of batches. Maybe it's going to be the exact same build, just with a new motor, or we might see a mid-release. Typically YT released the Decoys in the first 2 weeks of the year, but I think they might do a September or October release this year. Santa Cruz will release a 29er e-bike this year. I think it's going to have the Shimano E9000 motor. I think it's going to have the Shimano 630 watt battery. And I think it's going to be like 160, 150, kind of in between the high tower and the mega tower. And it's probably going to have a massive price tag. Yeti is one of the biggest mountain bike brands that has not entered the e-mountain bike sector yet. I think we're going to see a Yeti, kind of an SB 150-ish. They're going to have to change the Switch Infinity. It's not going to fit. They're going to have to change the suspension. But I'm pretty sure we will see an e-bike, and I'm pretty sure it will come with a Shimano E9000, Shimano motor, and it's probably going to be like a 160, 150, 170, 150 suspension on a 29er or a mullet. Canyon released 3 e-bikes this year and they all look great. But when you look at the Spectral is clearly right down the middle, a 150, 150, 66.5 degree head tube angle. This is a trail bike through and through. I'm pretty sure they've left room in that lineup to go for an e-Talk. I reckon we're gonna go 27 front and back. I reckon it's going to be 180, 170. I think it's going to be very similar to the SX or maybe even the Canevo. Commensal, Meta, SX and 29er. You might have noticed that Commensal have been dropping new bikes in the last couple of weeks and they look awesome. New colors. Actually, a lot of the frames have had a little bit of tweaking. And I think maybe we're going to see a little bit of tweaking on the SX and the 29er. I think we're going to see the new Shimano 630 watt battery, and maybe we're going to see the E9000, fingers crossed. And if you head over to Commensal's website, you will see on the last day of August, they will be releasing their 2021 e-bikes. Radon has had massive success with the Render, super well spec'd, apparently rides very well, an amazing price. I really like what Radon's doing, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna see an e-Swoop. I know they made an e-Swoop a couple of years ago. It was a bit rubbish. I think we're gonna see a new e-Radon this year or early next year. I think it's gonna have Bosch Gen 4. I think it's gonna have a 625 battery. I think it's gonna be running on mullets or maybe 29s. It's going to be a big suspension. It's going to be 170, 170, 160, something like that. But it's going to be a big enduro e-mountain bike. Propane Canna, another one of my favorite bikes. It's been out of stock for months. They're saying on the website it will be available from October. I'm predicting we're going to see a re-release of this bike with a few changes. We're definitely going to see the bigger battery. We might see the new motor. It's a super interesting bike and it's something I'm really looking forward to seeing. Pivot Shuttle, one of the first really light e-bikes. The Shuttle's been out, I think like 2 or 3 years. It's showing its age. It's a 160, 145 29er. I think that Pivot are either going to re-release something. They're going to change that up a little bit with possibly the new motor and definitely a new battery, or they're going to keep the bike and they're going to release a new bike, maybe the Firebird or something similar of that spec. I think it's going to be a 29er or a mullet. I think it's going to have 170, 160 or 170, 150 travel. It's obviously going to be their big super enduro, where their Shuttle is more a trail bike. Okay, riders, that's it for the bikes. As I said, this is pure speculation. And now there's a few parts that I'm thinking will probably be released as well. And the first one would be a whole group set. I think that SRAM and Shimano are going to release a whole e-bike specific group set. Maybe the E-Saint, or I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be called, but we really need it. One of the worst kept secrets this year is the new 38 stanchion forks from RockShox. They will be released in the next couple of weeks. And I'm pretty sure on every 2021 bike, you're either going to get a 38 or the new 38 stanchions from RockShox. Tires. With the eddy currents on the market now from Schwalbe, I'm pretty sure Maxxis will come to the party on this, an E-specific tire, or at least make more of their tires available in the thicker casing. So that's it for me. I'm sure I missed loads of brands. I'm sure I missed loads of things, riders. If you have any ideas or thoughts, tell me what they are. I'd love to hear them. I'm a full geek on this stuff. And remember, these are just rumors. I really have no idea what's coming out. Now the big question we'll all have to ask ourselves, do we wait for all the new tech or do we buy the older stuff? Look, for me, I don't think it's 2015, 16. These changes are small gains. You know, like obviously the E9000 is going to be better than the E8000. You got to remember the E8000 is a workhorse and it's fully proven. So the first batch, I'm not saying they will, but maybe, you know, on the first batch of anything, sometimes there's problems. I personally would not be holding back. I would be buying my bike for this year and look, maybe selling it and upgrading the following year, or just upgrading a few of the parts. I kind of think with this COVID-19, all the products are going to be released, but when are we actually going to see them in Europe? That is the big question. So riders, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, like, share it with your mates. It really means a lot. Stay safe out there. If you have any rumors, send them my way. I'd love to know. And I'll see you next time.